What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Let's React To. And today we are going to react to some Katt Williams interviews and pretty much talk about what he said. This is something that's been blowing up for the last week or so now. And I know I'm kind of a little late. All the other big reaction channels got theirs videos out and whatever. So I watched at least an hour. I didn't get a chance to watch the full 2.5 hours of Club Shay Shay interview, but I managed to get a whole hour and a half ish into it, and believe me, during that little bit of time, even the first 10 minutes, my mind was blown to some extent, but at the same time, it wasn't exactly surprising as to what Katt Williams was saying, only because he's been saying the same shit for years. He's been saying this shit for years. I mean, all of a sudden, people are blowing this shit up. Like, all of a sudden, what he's saying is a problem, or people are just starting to, have an opinion about it. Like, whatever the case is, whatever the opinion is, one of the things that did catch my attention was when he was talking about Money Mike on Friday After Next and Ricky Smiley. And this is what, even though I watched a lot of Katt Williams interviews, this is one of the things that I did not know as far as how Money Mike came about. So let's go ahead and get right into it, and we'll talk a little bit about it. And there's like other points in the video. There's other points that I want to talk about as well, because it's not just Money Mike. It's like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it.
How did you develop Money Mike and get it? Everybody talk Money Mike. How did you come up with that and say,
Iconic.
You know what, this is how he should dress, this is how he should talk, this is how he should look, this is the kind of whip he should ride, this is how he should talk?
So if you'll remember that was my first movie, just understand that what I did then, I've done with every single role, whether it was an Emmy-winning role or whether it wasn't, whether I was playing somebody homeless, whether I was playing a dirty vagabond on Atlanta, whether it was an eccentric guy in First Sunday, regardless of what the role is, the first thing I do is erase me from it.
Okay.
So anything that I would naturally do, that's what I'm not going to do, because I'm playing a different character.
You're playing the character. Okay.
Right.
You're playing a character.
So
that's exactly what
I
actors
then
do.
create this person based upon real life circumstances. So I don't have to wonder what a pimp thinks, because I've been in that position for a little while. I also worked manual labor for some time in my life, so I don't have a problem paying somebody that works, and I don't have a problem being a go-getter, because I'm a go-getter. So I bring whatever I can to these characters. I was able to...
Life experience.
The first week that I got the script,
Life experience.
there
He's
was
talking about right here.
a pimp guy that used to be a pimp, but he wasn't anymore. He was a rapper now, and his name was Mac Minister, and he... had been a pimp and was going to be a rapper. And I had never done a movie before. I was a stand-up, and I'm getting ready to do the movie. And so I was able to craft what a real pimp was like, what was too much. I didn't want to be stereotypical.
Right.
I did the research. I saw how many times people played pimps, and they were always... It was always something weird about them,
Right.
I guess, because it's a weird job, you know what I mean?
Correct.
And I wanted somebody that didn't seem like none of that he really thought it was a business and treated it like that. And so, adding those levels to acting is what all actors do if they're not Steve or Cedric or Ricky. Like, you're trying to create a character. You can't just be Fazon in every movie. Like, you just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like...
Nah, so he's gonna get into Ricky Smiley in a minute. I'm sorry for stopping it right here, but like, he's about to get into Ricky Smiley. I watched this part of the interview, and it was very interesting.
Why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe, Cat. Let Big Worm breathe. Stall him out now.
Yes, he's iconic. Big Worm is iconic, but the shit that Fazon's been doing
You
the
having
last
an
decade.
unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
I don't know.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm and Friday now. You got to give him credit for the role now. Come on now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If what you're saying is correct, why wasn't he in next Friday or Friday after next?
I mean, his role, I mean...
It wasn't good. Sorry.
There was a lot of people that appeared in the first one that weren't in the second one, Katt.
I'm just telling you why.
Different people, different reasons.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there's a news flash that there are reasons for things in a business.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why did you bench D-Lo? He had 2 points. What are you talking about? Shut up. But I like him. Nobody cares about that. That's not what we're talking about. These are business conversations that deal with businessmen.
Right.
Right. When you're good at something, you should progress. The guys that are not as good, they should fall down by the wayside. That's natural.
So you believe if your talent doesn't support it, you should fall by the wayside, and the guys that have the talent and they get elevated, they should move.
No, that's what water says. That's what the universe say. The universe say the levels. No, not I say. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I'm working every day as if I think that's what
should happen.
Is how it should be. And I'm choosing comedians that also write and work hard and don't steal other people's material. And I'm making sure that they all make $300,000 a season. And I'm making sure that they're not ever signed to me or my conglomerate. And that's why they're successful. No, you can work with me and still be an independent businessman, boss owner like you came in.
Right.
I don't need you to be subservient to me. That's those other guys that make you pay dues.
And that's crazy because, like, you know, you hear people in the industry, whether it's music business or in the Hollywood section or whatever the case is, talking about paying dues. Yes, at some point, yeah, you were probably paying dues, sure, but who is it to say that this is what you have to do in order to be considered that you paid your dues? You know what I'm saying? So Katt Williams is over here trying to not fix it, but like do away with that culture mindset. Like, you don't have to do these specific things to be considered you paying your dues. Just make good product. Just make good product and shine the best way you can.
You rewrote a lot of what Money Mike was to say and how he behaved. So they allowed you the freedom, the liberty to ad lib. How much?
Would they allow you to just make an interception if didn't nobody talk about it? As a football player, if the ball comes your way, can you just grab it? Can you make an interception anytime? Are you allowed to pick up any fumble? You can do any hustling, right? Oh, okay, same here.
I mean, technically, yes. Technically.
But here's the thing, though. Even as an offensive player, they might let me ad lib once I get a couple of years under my belt. They wouldn't let me ad lib as a rookie. That was your first movie.
I told you the conversation in my first movie, just because I am committed to laughs. The only way I made it past those 300 comedians, I didn't tell you this. What it required is I had to watch all 300 comedians 10 times a piece. I watched your set 10 times of you performing, whoever you were, and then I counted how many laughs you got every time you did these amount of minutes. So if you told me this comedian and told me he did 30 minutes, I could tell you that he got 26 laughs in that 30 minutes because I had done the numbers on everybody. So I didn't just say I was funnier. I knew I was funnier than the comic you liked, and I could tell you how many jokes funnier I was, because that's how we judge stand-up. You do 15 minutes, I do 15 minutes. How do I know I'm funnier than you? Because you got 6 laughs, and I got 16. I'm almost 3 times better than you, low-key, boy. But I'm never gonna tell you the formula. So you gonna keep just going out there telling jokes, not understanding that psychologically, the audience by 10 years is convinced that I'm funnier than you. They just don't know why.
I mean, if you pay attention to your settings.
Because I'm putting out more content.
Pay attention to your settings. Study yourself.
I had
study
Terry
other
Crews
people.
on here. He said at the time that you did the movie, you were homeless. Is that true?
This was my situation. 5 months prior to me getting this first audition for Friday
Yeah,
After
starting to hit
Next,
home.
I got this baby son.
You can see he's hitting
I'm
home.
holding him up above me. He grabs my little chain. He's playing with it, and he accidentally drops it. It breaks out my front 2 teeth. I'm in a situation now where when I go to the dentist, they telling me this gonna cost thousands and thousands of dollars to fix this right.
That shit gonna hurt.
They not telling me what it's gonna look like.
That shit hurts.
I go get an estimate with no money involved, find out what I need to do. They find out you got a tumor in your upper jaw, so we're gonna have to do a whole surgery for you. It's gonna be 100 bands. I don't have it. I don't have it. And
Damn. Again with these, I get it, monetization.
I'm only gonna have this check from this movie. So while I'm doing this movie, we live in this trailer. This is where we live. So when they come to work at 5 in the morning, we already there. When they leave at night, we still there. We just double back because we understood that this is our one opportunity. And we have this opportunity to change our lives, just like a young man going for the draft.
Right.
We can actually get in the league with this. There are 30 comedians on this cast. They're all magnificent. This is the holy grail of the situation. So yeah, I was able to make sure that, because it wasn't just my first movie, it was K.D. Albert's first movie, it was Terry Crews' first movie.
Absolutely.
I was the leader of this group, which meant that we didn't do their rehearsals, they did rehearsal, we did our own rehearsals daily to make sure that we were at the level of professional actors, which is what made it so egregious.
Fair
That
enough,
guy.
man.
Saying, I was supposed to. You were supposed to what?
I mean, you're in the presence of great actors.
Katt, he did have a good part in the movie, man. The Santa Claus was funny, man.
The dude said the entire time we were filming, I can't play this role.
Now, like I said, I listened to this podcast, at least an hour and a half of it that I was able to at the time, because I was on my way to work and I was getting ready for work on my way to work when I listened to it. Let's be honest, guys. Ricky Smiley, when I was younger, yes, I was a fan of his stand-up, but I never thought that he was the funniest. I never thought that he was the greatest. And honestly, he's proven me right. He's not the funniest. He's not the greatest, because a lot more people, came in that was better than him. Katt Williams. And let's be honest, Friday After Next, the Santa Claus, it wasn't necessary. I mean, yeah, it was necessary for the story to move, but he wasn't that funny. The Santa Claus character was not funny at all. He was just there. He was just there to keep the story moving. Imagine Ricky Smiley playing Money Mike. Imagine Katt Williams playing the Santa Claus. It just doesn't work. Because Ricky Smiley is just not that funny. He's not that creative. Listen to this.
Oh, they got a bandana over my nose and my mouth. My family not even gonna know who this is.
So yeah, tell your story.
Terry Crews also said that you guys had a lot of conversation, that this was your opportunity and you needed to seize this moment.
Terry had the benefit of having been in some very high-profile situations already and took L's. Mm-hmm. Like, he had been in the league, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had done pro wrestling. He had done a lot of things. He had been televised in some things that hadn't worked.
Right.
And this was just fortuitous for him. And now you know what nobody has ever said in the whole industry in 20 years about, the whole Money Mike not getting raped in the bathroom.
Right.
So I understood going in that there's no reason. I lost for a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk, that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was, and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah,
God forbid anybody has standards.
It's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, again, I'm on the winning side of these decisions.
You know, look, I've had Cube, I've talked to Cube, and a lot of people say Cube doesn't pay. What's your relationship with Cube, and what did that opportunity mean for you?
Well, the ungrateful bastards that would say anything about Cube's payment, you shouldn't even talk to them anymore. Like, you don't go to Goodwill, you don't go to a Goodwill thrift store and go, look at all this cheap ass shit. Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up? You could have went to Hermes. Why you didn't go to Balenciaga? Why you didn't get a bowl of the Balmain? You want to have that conversation? Right. What you mean, the independent black dude who's filming it partly out of his fucking pocket? What you mean he didn't pay you enough? They weirdos. Weirdos that felt like they earned the opportunity because they were big. No, yeah. I understood.
That ain't no $200 million movie. Well, I mean, how much did you expect you was gonna make?
Well, I made enough to get them teeth fixed just like you did.
Yeah.
So it was no harm, no foul. I knew that I was gonna go from there, and there was no
turning back for Katt Williams.
Well, here's the thing.
Need you to take my boat out for a run.
Yeah, okay, Pop. We're gonna show you what real fishermen can do.
I wrote it. What I'm saying if I did it and I did a good job at it, you can thank me. I was involved.
Right.
I'm not gonna come later on and tell you, I never even read the whole script. So
so he, like he said, he wrote Money Mike. He wrote everything on Money Mike. And that is, and he got the credit, I'm sure, and that's why he got paid what he got paid. Fair enough.
How you know what roles? What? What do you mean you never read the... like these guys' whole job is to present something, unfortunately, and I'm just not a presenter. If you ask me a question, I'm just gonna tell you the truth of how it went.
Would you be willing to do another Friday?
Cube already asked me to write it. I was supposed to have been writing it. This is what these guys are mad about. Like,
what happened?
We lost some great people before this movie could come out regardless. Right. And so, yes, there desperately needs to be one.
Yeah, John Witherspoon being one of them.
But we miss John Witherspoon in a way that can't really be quantified, if I'm being honest with you.
Legend.
And
Legend.
the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Oh, Lord.
Whew.
I don't know about all that.
If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday?
I'm sure they wanted to, but he didn't want to.
Smokey was all in. Smokey, there ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without Friday.
Nah, we talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Katt Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed. Right. Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying, Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Chris.
And Chris Tucker has mentioned this many, many times again in the past. He has mentioned it. he has been in interviews within the last 5 years or so that he mentioned it. So he made that decision that he didn't want to come back for that reason.
Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Me neither. Must be the greatest.
Man, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody back. I ain't gonna be able to get no more comedians.
They all coming.
No, they ain't.
Are you kidding?
Nah.
Hey, I
A good
promise
thing
you.
I done got all the rest of them. I done got the ones.
I promise you, everybody trying to double back. You're gonna be having to beat them off with a stick. You gonna let him? They're coming.
Now, like, honestly, I don't know how long this video is going to be. So it's like he says so much in that clip. Like, in that clip alone, like, I wanted to highlight Ricky Smiley. I wanted to highlight the Money Mike situation. Like, let's be honest, though. Like, Ricky Smiley, like, it doesn't matter if you look at his stand-up comedy, if you look at the movies that he did, all he did was play. Like, his stand-up was not that good. I mean, he was funny, he had a few laughs. Like, when Katt Williams was talking about, you watch this comedian for 15 minutes or whatever, how many laughs did they get? That's how I looked at Ricky Smiley, like, with his stand-up. He wasn't that funny. He never got a whole lot of laughs out of me. And I love stand-up comedy. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if you talk the way Katt Williams talks, Steve Harvey talks, or whatever. You could be Seinfeld, you could be George Carlin, you could be Steve Harvey, you could be Katt Williams. I still enjoy your stand-up if you are funny. But Ricky Smiley wasn't any of that. And then there was another part in this interview that I want to highlight when he was talking about men playing women roles. So this one, he was talking about Martin Lawrence coming to him about Big Mama's House 2? So, yeah, let's just...
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner, you my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my motherfucking word, my nigga. Go do what you gotta do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. We get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2.
Nah, he needed to see the script.
I almost died. And I gotta read this script in front of all these good white people. Where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got him. Just like I'm telling you, I had that other dude's work. I had all of it. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real niggas. And that's how I got in this position.
I sure hope
I'm going
I
to say
have
something,
Club
but
Shay Shay after this.
I'm going to
here.
wait.
It's gonna be in a dimension it's never been.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The greatest thing floating in
I might be out of
2024. Mark the
business.
words. No way. In a whole different.
And it blew the fuck up. Oh my God.
realm of business. Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth,
Yeah.
oh yeah, watch.
Well, first of all, Oprah ain't gonna come in and be on Club Shay Shay, but people are probably gonna come in talking about Oprah, but that's a whole different story, man.
Watch. God's people ain't that few.
But yeah, that was a short clip on that one, but I wanted to, he went the whole interview on that part of the interview. I watched the actual podcast. He went through the whole interview talking about, men. Like he went through the whole interview talking about men, especially black men, black actors being portrayed as women. He talked about Urkel. He talked about, this situation right here. And then he talked about all these other different actors. He mentioned Wesley Snipes, and any other actor, black actor. He mentioned, white actors as well, whoever played women over time. And like that really got me thinking. It's like, why, as male actors, specifically black male actors at that, like, why are we pushing dresses on people who don't want to do that kind of role? Now, here's my thing. I love comedy. I'm a big fan of comedy, especially stand up. But it's like, if an actor like Katt Williams said he doesn't want to put on a dress, and he mentioned in this interview during this section of the interview, he talked about like the producers at Big Mama's house try to get him to wear the dress. The writers try to get him to wear the dress. All these different people try to come in and convince him to wear the dress because they convinced him that it was funny. But you don't need to wear a freaking dress. But he kept on saying no. So my problem is not male actors put on a dress for a role, but my problem is, why are we pushing it when people don't want to do it? Why do we keep trying to push it in the hope that they'll just give in? Like, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. If they have another way of making that scene funny, why not just try it out? Martin Lawrence already put on a dress in Big Mama's house. Why does he have to do it in Big Mama's house too? Why not just get a real woman? Need a prostitute? Get a real prostitute. Get some real money in their pockets. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is, like, get a real person. You don't have to get a male actor to make it funny. Yes, there are male actors out there who don't mind putting on a dress. Look at Medea. You know what I'm saying? So why are we pushing the issue of people, wearing a dress or whatever? He talked about Fazon Love. He's not funny. Let's be honest. Fazon Love, he's not that funny. He's not that funny. That's my opinion. I love him. I love him as an actor, but he's not that funny. He's not a stand-up comedian. We already know because he doesn't do it. But he's not that funny. He's scripted funny. He mentioned, in this podcast, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was one of those people who just came out of nowhere. Talking about the industry plant. He called him the industry plant. Katt Williams called Kevin Hart the industry plant because he came out of nowhere. His first movie, he came out of nowhere. Soul Plane came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's this big star. Now, I'm not saying he's not funny, but I am saying that he came out of nowhere and he got all these accolades for what? How did it happen? He's not that funny. He's scripted funny. His stand-up is all right. I watch his stand-up. I pretty much watch every Kevin Hart special stand-up special. And he's funny, but he's not that funny. You know what I'm saying? He's not Katt Williams funny. Shit, to be honest, he's not even. You know what? I'm not even gonna say, like, I was gonna say he's not as funny as some white comedians, but he's not that. He's just not that funny. Like, scripted funny sometimes. He's funny, scripted funny, but his face on low. He's scripted funny. But I'm saying, like, why are we pushing issues when people don't want to do certain things? Why are actors taking on certain roles, especially when you're well known? Why are you taking on certain roles when you don't have to? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I get what Katt Williams is coming in. I know he had a lot of backlash, and it is what it is. We're gonna take a look at some responses. We're gonna do some videos later on with some responses from people who responded to Katt Williams after this. Katt Williams had another interview with Willie D. We're gonna look at that as well, and see where it goes, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We're going to do some more reactions to people's responses and his most recent interview with Willie D as well. And just let me know in the comments your thoughts in the comment section, what you guys are thinking. All right. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, just take care of yourself and each other.